Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Button 91. We're going to give you guys a video talking about. Yeah, let me tell you something. It's crazy because I watched this video, in which I'm going to play in a few seconds, and actually the title is kind of contradictory to what she actually says. She actually says that this is probably the most loving, caring, trustful relationship she's ever had with Jeezy. So why am I making a video saying that Jeannie Mae had trust issues and safety issues with Jeezy when she blatantly told us she actually trusted Jeezy? Well, I'm going to play the clip for you, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper, and I'm going to actually expand on what I mean by that, right? Sometimes when we talk about relationships and we say that we trust somebody, we trust them in components and in parts. But she lets us know that she has trust issues. Nothing to do with Jeezy. It's simply just her own particular thoughts and feelings. So we're going to get into this video. Let me play a little bit of the clip, and then we're going to get deeper as well. Before we do, like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We are talking about Jeannie Mae and the divorce situation. So look, we're trying to keep it cute, classy in the chat. Comment down below as well, and let me know your thoughts. But we're trying to get to 100K subscribers. We're doing an amazing job so far. Keep going, keep subscribing, guys. We're killing it at the moment, and I really, really do appreciate that. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, cool. Let's get into the video. Let's play, and let's see what we can get to.
Feel good and whole and safe. It's hard to see anything being trustworthy moving forward. I realized that the reason why I didn't want to have kids is because that feeling when I was a kid was so real and so damaging, to the point that I'm 42 today, still dealing with trust issues and confidence and the ability to trust that I'm going to stop something if something happens to me. I'm going to stand up for myself. And to be honest,
I want to pause it right here. All right. People that have been through trauma and very traumatic events, we've all been through trauma, but some events are more traumatic than others. The level of stress that the body is under and the mind is under is very difficult. Jeannie Mae had gone through sexual assault and violence through a cousin, a family friend, who in the end, her mother didn't even believe her when she stated it. When she stated it to her mother, her mother just disbelieved her and believed the cousin, the male cousin. And in the end, at 16, she ran away from home. Now, why is this really important? Because it builds a storyline that we can actually understand. Jeannie Mae has let us know that actually she has her own trust issues. She, even to this point at 42, has that. Now, here's the thing. She has trust issues and she has anger issues, right? And the anger issues, I said it before, and I didn't even realize it, that it was going to be this true. I mean, but the principle is always the same, that when anger is a key component of somebody's life, it is because there's been a failure in an area of their life to be able to express themselves. So the anger becomes a form of expression, and it becomes an outward physical exertion. Right? We talk about emotional regulation. What the three components are: understand, process, and express. And when someone can't express how they really feel, the frustration begins to kick in, and anger becomes one of their components that they use as a way of communicating their frustrations and how they feel. And oftentimes it can become a shield from actually having real conversations and getting nitty gritty and getting vulnerable. So we know there's two things about her: trust issues, anger issues, right? Now, as she's clear, if you watched any of her videos, she's actually said she really does trust Jeezy. It's the most loving relationship she's ever had. But the issue isn't about Jeezy in terms of him creating an environment of trust. He can't do any more than he's doing. The issue is the person themselves does not trust. Very much like myself, I'm a fearful, avoidant type attachment style. It's not about you, it's about me. When you get close, I start to feel like I need to detach myself. I don't want to get too comfortable because I don't need to have too much power over me that you can pull my emotions from me, and I'm going to be influenced by that. Right? I don't want to feel like, you know what, you're getting too close to me, and you know what, you may abandon me. And so therefore I try to keep at distance. But that's to do with my childhood still impacting me at my grown ass age. Now, she said she's 42 and still got trust issues. Now, and why am I bringing this up? Because we're now in a divorce stage. And more than likely, what's happened is there's been some triggering moments for Jeannie Mai that have played itself in the relationship to a point where she's going to do something that's going to contravene or hurt the healthiness of this relationship. We heard from Funky Deneva, and he spoke and said, hey, one of the things that was an issue was the family moving in. That was a big issue as well, right? Her mother and her brother moving in. Now I can imagine this argument going a little bit left. what I mean by this. I mean, I can imagine this argument becoming an issue about her being able to have a voice. You're telling me I can't move my family in, and she may see it from a skewed perspective. How can I not have my family here? They're here to support me. They love me. They care about me. You have a huge mansion. Why do they need to go anywhere else? Right? I've lost my family for almost 8, 9 years. I didn't have them. And now you want me to say I should send them away again? Instant trigger, right? Instant trigger. Anger can really kick in real quick then. The dragon, as she calls it, which I'm going to call it is anger, can kick up then. Because now you're feeling fearful and you're feeling afraid and you're feeling unsafe. And it's not because of Jeezy, it's because of what you've experienced. Let's listen a bit more on and strengthen my point a little bit.
Honest with you, to this day, there are a lot of times in my career where people have either bullied me or messed with my head in some way, and I didn't stand up for myself, and I'm not proud of myself. Many times, even many times on camera. I think the reason why I've always said I don't want to have kids is because I didn't trust myself.
Now, I want to pause it here because obviously the kid situation is mad too because she admits why she didn't want to have kids, which I said originally. Yeah, it's not like she didn't want to have kids. The trauma that she was facing, which is that she had been exposed to, she didn't trust herself to be able to be in a position of a parent because she doesn't feel safe enough to do it. You know, will I make the same mistakes? Will I do the same thing? I don't want to have a child in the same position that I was in. I get it. She's trying to change history. Now, key thing here about Jeezy and Gina or Jenna, sorry, is that what she just said there, about sticking up for herself. Well, let's be honest. She's been in a relationship for 10 years. They were on the verge of breaking up. It wasn't long until then she was in a relationship or in a marriage as well with Jeezy. Now, how likely is it that they may have needed some more work to be done on her healing journey in between the divorce of her last relationship and going in with Jeezy, and that when you get in with Jeezy, remember in the past marriage she had all the power, and I say that because she was disrespectful to him on TV, and you don't do that unless you have power in a relationship, right? So when you have power in a relationship and you're the one that's controlling things and you're dictating things, you may not feel that unsafeness come up. You may think, oh, I've got over it, I'm cool. But actually, you've been controlling that last relationship. Then you get into a situation where she said herself in a video with Shambudi, where she said, I didn't respect my partner. But with Jeezy, he's my co-equal, he's my partner. And what happens when you realize a person who's a mirror to you, who is of the same standing and ilk as you, now stands up to you? You can be re-triggered in that moment. So let's say, for instance, Jesus says, I don't want your mom and your brother here. I told you this. I don't want them here. I don't want to do the social media relationship. I've told you this. Don't take the kids out and walk with them because it's dangerous. I've told you this. Now, what can happen is I'm feeling like I'm being restricted, and that's due to my trauma. I feel like I'm being coddled, and you're trying to suppress me. And remember, she ran away at home at 16 and built herself up. That's a lot of independence. You're not going to want someone to tell you what to do. No matter how much you think you want it, if you have not healed, you're still going to operate in a space where, like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do because I've been doing what I want to do since 16. So now there's triggers happening in the relationship, right? Of control, right? And that then brings out the anger, that brings out the frustration, that brings out the pain and the hurt, and that brings out the dragon that she speaks about, and then that brings the turmoil in the relationship. There's only a few more. There's only so many times that somebody can deal with a dragon, though. Okay, there's only a few times someone can deal with the anger that you got, right? The unresolved issues that you got, right? The way that you may be fast on a trigger that you've got. Okay, so when she speaks about not speaking up for herself, that's a key point. I felt like I didn't always speak up for myself. What might have happened is when he did say about the mother and the brother, she might have thought this is my moment to speak up for myself because in the other relationship, I didn't need to speak up for myself. I was in control. I didn't respect him. I didn't respect him in the same way because I was a leader in that relationship. I was the one that was holding it down. So if I said it, it can go. There's no challenge. In this situation, there's a power dynamic shift. Jeezy is not my ex-husband. Now, when he says something, I'm at liberty to listen and consider, whereas beforehand I didn't have to. Now I do because I consider that person to be an equal. Now, when he does speak and contravenes what I'm saying, I might take it as a moment to I need to stand up for myself. But the way you stand up for yourself can actually also be a way that causes more drama and more fuel to the fire. Just because you want to stand up for yourself. standing up for yourself ordinarily is not an issue. We need to find a balance, because when you're in trauma and you don't speak up for yourself, you have to almost find your middle ground. A lot of times when what we're talking about healing, what we mean is you found some balance. But when we're on the scale or on the journey of finding that balance, we sometimes go to the complete opposite side. And we're then sometimes coming back. And on the way back, we're still loading bombs at people, right? We're still learning our balance, our center of balance. And I wonder if that was happening in the relationship between Jeezy and Jeanni, right? She just got to a place where she can now have children, because she discussed with her mother not long ago that her mother actually did try to cover her. Her mother did try, well, later on, the mother went after the cousin and cussed him out and said, hey, don't do it to my daughter, da, da, da. And she got some healing from that. So I wonder in this instance if that is still something that's sitting deeply for Jeannie, and it's still playing, and now that she's exposed to an arena where the person also has power and you're not the only one, whether that's now triggering, because just like when you were a child, your parents had power and you felt powerless. I wonder if you felt that powerlessness again in the Jeezy relationship, which can then make your anger and your frustration come right out. As she said on Shambudi, she's like, who you talking to? He's like, who you talking to? Who's everybody talking to? Because it ain't me. You know what I mean? So that might have played a big role in it. So how safe was she in this relationship? I don't think it had anything necessarily to do with Jeezy per se creating an unsafe environment. I think it more had to do with the fact that she had her own triggers, because she's already expressed that Jeezy would talk and converse and have conversation about things. So that isn't necessarily the issue, but the issue may have been those disagreements, the way she may have viewed it and perceived it could have been like in my trauma and in those lenses. So therefore, I'm reacting in a much more harsher way, which then triggers the other person, Jeezy, and like, hold on a minute, I don't have to accept this. I don't want to keep doing this. I'm out. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you guys.